Good afternoon, everyone. Craig DeLuz here with the Thirsty Thursday edition of The Rundown. And as you know, I do not do this program by my lonesome.
That's right. I'm helping them from the East Coast, coming at you from the right coast. My name is Mike Poworski, and I'll be co-hosting today here on The Rundown. Welcome to everybody.
Mikey. So what's the good word today, sir?
Woo! Let's see. Last night was Hump Day, Wacky Wednesday. Actually had my meeting with my veterans organization, so that was a good night. Good times, good people. See them every week or so, and plotting the future, right? Is what we do. So we're having a good time. Having a good time. How about you, sir? How was your evening?
My actually was a very, very busy day. Yesterday I had a live feed that I did for a client, and had a lot of fun, got a lot of stuff done, got to do some really new and kind of innovative stuff. So the only challenge is always I got to take down my equipment, and then I got to get up early and put it back together so that we can come together and enjoy this program. But otherwise, man, had a very, very good time. Got into a debate with someone regarding the whole recall election out here, and I've just had to come to realize that Democrats live in an alternate universe.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
I just you get to a point when you're debating with them, and you just have to realize, look, you are allowed your own opinion, but you're not allowed your own facts. If you're going to choose to live in an alternate world, then do me a favor, stay there. Don't bother to try and discuss or debate with me about anything, because when I bring up facts and you refute those facts with absolutely nothing but, crap, no evidence, no facts, no nothing.
That's because you're racist, Craig.
Well, there you go. Because, yeah, exactly. You're going to start calling me a racist and a homophobe and all this stuff. If that's going to be how you're going to respond, then, yeah, we don't really need to debate, because you don't have the ability to actually debate.
Yeah, you listen, as soon as that starts, at this point, I'm just like, hey, you know what? You're a friggin' idiot. And just walk away. Yeah. I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
You've already lost this article, or you've already lost this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't turn around and call them an idiot. I just kind of point out, yeah, you're living in a world devoid of facts.
Let's be clear. I don't turn around and call them an idiot. I call them an idiot, then I turn around and walk away.
Okay. So, in other words, you call them an idiot to their face.
To their face. In the face.
In your face.
In the face.
In
the face.
In your face. Okay, and that's how it be. That's how it be. Yeah. All right, sir. Well, speaking of idiots, let's go ahead and get right into the news.
Jump right into the idiocy today. Yep.
We'll jump right into the idiocy today. So our first story here. Now this comes out of Virginia. Now we all know that gun rights or gun control advocates are flat out liars, and we also know that in politics, it seems like you can get away with basically saying whatever and calling people whatever, and for the most part, you get away with it. Well, the Virginia Citizens Defense League has actually decided that they are going to sue a gun control group for calling them a terrorist organization. And, dude, look, I just think this is phenomenal. I think this is exactly where we need to be, and what we need to be doing is going after these groups who basically are flat out lying. Take them to a court of law and make them defend their facts. In this case, prove that this organization, which wants nothing more than to defend our constitutional right to keep and bear arms, go ahead and prove that they are a terrorist.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the name of this. I thought I had it written down of the other league. We know it. Virginia Citizens Defense League is an incredible organization. Phil Van Cleve is their president of the organization. Their executive director does an incredible job. In fact, if you recall, folks, the march in Virginia a year and a half ago now with something like, I think it was 16,000 people, if I recall correctly, Craig. No violence, and they left the city cleaner than they found it. That was Phil Van Cleve and VCDL that did that. Well, this other organization, I don't know. I can't find the name of it now. It's slipping away here. Some anti-gun group, some gun control group has declared that VCDL is a domestic terror organization. Well, listen, you can call me a lot of things, but a domestic terror organization is not one of them. That's accurate. And VCDL, rather than sit back and take that, has decided, you know what, we're going to sue you, and their lawsuit has been filed, and they're seeking damages and punitive action against this other organization in the tune of about $450,000. And I've read through the initial complaint on the on the VCDL lawsuit. And listen, they go right into describing how the state describes a domestic terror organization, how they are the opposite of what the state describes as a domestic terror organization, and that this is clear libel by the other side. And if this goes by the rule of law, Craig, VCDL should be getting themselves a nice little payday to help pay for their next couple of events.
Oh yeah. Now the group is called the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence.
There you go. Thank you.
Right. But yeah, no. But that's the thing, man, is that they've gotten away with lying. And that's
Yeah.
I cannot even begin to tell you, because we deal with them. We deal with the Brady campaign. We deal here in California with, the every town. We deal with moms. Right. And every single time they either are talking about how they feel about something, or they're just flat out lying. And by the way, when they talk about their feelings are based on false information.
Yes.
So it's really frustrating. So the fact that we actually get to call them, or in this case, they're calling them out on their lies, because that's the other thing, is they demonize people. And what the reason and the point for the demonization is because then you get to disregard anything that we say. And that's how the left works, is they demonize you. Then that means that they can disregard anything that you have to say. And oh, by the way, that's right out of Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, which is the textbook for Marxist revolutionaries.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said for Hillary Clinton. Whoops.
Yeah, for Marxist revolutionaries.
Yep. So this is great. This is great to see this kind of action. I'm trying to think why nobody else has done this prior to this, and I can't think of anybody else, any of the other, the crazy moms or Everytown organizations that have made these kind of accusations before. Either in writing or at a campaign rally or speech or something. So maybe it's just that VCDL has been the first one to actually catch, hey, what did they call us? Did they just call us a domestic terror organization?
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, exactly. They literally called them something that has an official government term. Well, and I'll tell you what, here's another thing that I'll point to. Like you have Larry Elder running for governor here in California, who's been called the black face of white supremacy. Well, white supremacy now has, quote unquote, a government term in terms of what it is. I would love to see Larry Elder start going after some folks. I would like to see people on the political right going after some of these folks and suing them for some of the things that they're saying and some of the things they're doing, for basically the lies that they're telling on them.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see somehow that you're held accountable for the lies you say. I'm not sure that a candidate for office, I want to see sue people. I don't know, Craig. That almost seems like sour grapes from name calling. I don't know. There's got to be a way. There's definitely got to be a way to combat it. I don't know the right way. For an organization like VCDL, though, I absolutely agree this is the right way. But yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think? I mean, do you think a candidate would be seen as a
but yes. No, I think that some people would put it that way. I think the people who support the candidate wouldn't see it that way. The problem, the thing is this, is that if nobody does nothing, then they continue to do it, and they do it because it works. And so if nobody ever steps up and nobody ever the problem is usually you don't get a chance to do it until after the campaign is over. And then where do you get the resources or the money to be able to do it? The only way we're going to change the ability of the left to be able to do stuff like this is by calling them out. And that's why I appreciate them doing this, because, this is it's not an easy lawsuit to win, but when you, once again, in this particular case where it's got an actual specific definition, it should be easier for them to win. And, once again, hold them accountable. And you're 100% right. There are some people who are going to be like, oh, well, you're a candidate, you shouldn't do that.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there has to be a way. I don't know if it's appointing a court to be the fact finders or the fact checkers, or I have no idea how it works. But it would be wonderful if there was anything besides blatant lies. And then you know what you're going to get. You're going to get the half lies and truths, like we got one of our stories later on dealing about gun control. In fact, the next story where it's a bunch of half lies and truths that they could fall back and say, well, It just depends on how you read the data, and like anything concerning COVID, right? Right.
Well, exactly. Speaking of that, getting into the next story, let's get into that next story. So, interestingly enough, in the state of North Carolina, You've got a situation where you have a governor who vetoed a law that would have overturned a Jim Crow era law. This is the thing; it's a Jim Crow era gun law. For those of you who do not know, in many places, in order to get a concealed pistol permit, you have to have "quote unquote" good cause. In some places, you have to have good cause to get one, just to get a pistol permit, let alone a concealed pistol permit. Well, good cause was put in place specifically to allow local law enforcement to decide who could and who could not get a permit. Well, good cause was code for you had to be the right skin color or the right.
It was good color. It was
Right.
good color.
It was good color. It wasn't good cause. It was good color.
Yeah.
And that's exactly. And there's no lying by people about it. That's exactly what it meant. But yet the governor. This is what I find interesting. So you have the white Democratic governor of North Carolina vetoed the law, basically upheld the Jim Crow era law, and is now being blasted by the black Republican lieutenant governor who wanted to see the Jim Crow anti-gun law done away with.
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of political history with the state of North Carolina. For anybody that's watched any history about the United States, whether even if it was Hamilton or something else, the way we started in this country with the presidency was you had your candidates, and the guy that got the first amount of votes was the president, and the guy that got the second amount of votes became the vice president. It didn't matter if the parties were the same; they didn't run on the same ticket. We all know that got changed, a couple of decades later, to where it became a commonality and you voted for the ticket of the two people rather than the one individual. The state of North Carolina has not made that change. The state of North Carolina still is you vote for the governor and you vote for the lieutenant governor separately. So it's not where they have a ticket item, and it's not even where the guy with the first amount of votes and the guy with the second amount of votes gets lieutenant governor. So you vote separately for those two offices. So what you have there is this weird combination right now of Governor Cooper, who's a Democrat, a fierce anti-gun guy, and Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, like Craig said, Republican, severe pro-gun guy. So this battle is going to be raging on there for the entire time that these two individuals are in office.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a fun one, but it's funny. A lot of people don't realize, and when some people think we're talking just kind of semantics or just trying to be cute when we talk about the racist roots of gun control. But the fact is that that's exactly what it is. Gun control was originally created to keep freed blacks and Native Americans from being able to own and purchase firearms.
Yeah, absolutely. Post-Civil War legislation in the South, and it came from Democrats. It's 100% where it came from. This was, the Democrats had been ordered to, during the Civil War with the Emancipation Proclamation, we know that, and then later on with the after the war, it was put out again during the surrender documents at Appomattox that slaves will be free. Well, and it took Southern legislators, Southern elected officials. Now, remember, because we had to have there were not the same elected officials. Those that were elected officials prior to and during the war were forbidden from ever holding office again. So this took a new crop of Southern legislatures that were still bitter about the loss and being told about how they could make their money, and led by Jim Crow, who started to author some of these laws, which were quickly picked up in many states. And it was exactly right. It was all about oppressing firearm ownership by the former slaves. Why, Craig? Because within 5 years prior to that, they had been killing their slaves for looking at them wrong, or for looking at their women wrong, or stupid crap like that. So they didn't want them to have firearms so they could get killed in the night.
Exactly. Once again, you hit the nail. Well, even before that, there was the freed black slaves. Even before the Civil War, they didn't want freed blacks to own guns.
Yes.
And then in California, you have in the 1800s, we passed laws like the 1870s, specifically to keep Chinese and Native Americans from being able to purchase firearms and ammunition. And then in 1923, we passed a law here in California, which, number one, prohibited Native Americans and Mexicans, or we call them Latinos now, or the Latinx. I do not call them Latinx.
But what if
I'm
they're
being
not from
funny.
Mexico?
Right.
What if they're not from Mexico?
Well, then I don't know, but it just said they were talking about Mexicans. So,
Okay.
but they prohibited them from being able to purchase firearms or ammunition. Or let me clarify: it was prohibited to sell it to them, right?
Yeah.
And also though, that was when we got the first concealed carry laws here in California, which instituted good cause,
Yes.
which basically was code for don't let those people
Yeah.
get a concealed carry permit.
Good color. Good cause always meant good color.
Good cause has always been good color. So hats off to Lieutenant Governor Robinson there for calling out. And once again, I just find the irony that once again, white Democrat governor supporting Jim Crow, black Republican lieutenant governor saying we need to do away with Jim Crow.
Yeah. Yeah. It just
saying.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing coming full circle like this. And I think we should get old Governor Cooper and Lieutenant Governor Robinson a pair of boxing gloves and let them settle the Second Amendment debate that way. But that's violent. We couldn't do that.
I'll put my money on Mr. Robinson. I'll put my money on Mr. Robinson.
Well, that's why I'm doing it. That's clearly the favorite. He's clearly the favorite. Yeah.
Right. So. Imagine if we had done that with Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Oh, well, you see, but you could get in trouble for hitting Joe Biden. That's against the law to beat on the those with dementia.
They are within 5 years of each other, so I think it'd be a fair fight.
Oh, no, listen, yeah.
It wouldn't be fair. No. Joe Biden would get whopped.
You don't think Corn Pop would have some moves on him? He would just be like... There's
all you do is throw a set of stairs in front of Joe Biden. He's done. Down goes Biden. Down goes Biden.
Up goes Biden. Remember, up goes Biden. He fell up the stairs. Up goes Biden. What the hell? Yeah, he fell down getting up into the ring.
Man. Okay. Moving right along. Once again, here in California, we are enjoying being in the throes of a recall election. And one of the things that's interesting is a poll that was done talking about, where people are going to wind up voting. And a couple of things came out in this poll. First of all, majority of Latinos are in support of recalling Gavin Newsom, interestingly enough, which, by the way, is something that's got them incredibly scared because it's the largest minority in the state of California. But with that, they noted that 66% of women are likely to vote against the recall. Now, I will tell you the reason why a big part of this is because you listen to all of the ads and all they're talking about is the fact that Larry Elder is going to come in and overturn Roe v. Wade.
Is that all they're worried about there? Is the Roe v.
No,
Wade?
that's just all they're talking about. That's all. Right. When you listen to the radio commercials, they say, "Oh, Larry Elder is the black Donald Trump or wants to be like Donald Trump. He's the black face of white supremacy. And oh, by the way, he's going to overturn a woman's right to choose."
Okay, come on, it's just ridiculous. Have we not seen that already? First off, Greg, anytime I see something that says 66% believe this, it tells me right away they polled 3 people. Rather than actually had a realistic poll. When you read through this article, the people that they did poll were people like the president of the local chapter for Everytown for Gun Safety, the president of the pro-abortion league. This was not a poll. This is one of them Hillary Clinton polls where they polled Hillary Clinton about Hillary Clinton's possibility of being elected as president. This is not a real poll whatsoever. This number here of 66% is absolutely crap and ridiculous. I bet if you walked outside right now and asked 5 women about how they feel about the recall election, you'd get a completely different response. This election, when you read through it and you read through the data and you look at where they made the polls, who the poll was, what the demographics of the women, it's just absolutely like Craig. You know what? I want to put up a stat that says 66%. So I'm gonna go outside real quick and get my do a poll and get the poll to reinforce the stats that I already wrote down. Well, that's how this article reads.
Exactly. Well, man, you and I both agree. It's like lies, damn lies, and statistics, and that's exactly what this is. It's a damn lie. But the thing is, and what I find interesting about the whole thing is nobody who's against the recall is actually talking about whether or not Gavin Newsom's performance during his first term in office is worthy of being recalled. No one's talking about the actual facts. Everyone's talking about, everyone's talking about the Donald Trump Republican takeover of the state of California. Nobody's talking about the fact that there was $2 billion in unemployment fraud in less than a year. And of that $2 billion, half of $1 billion of it was money that was paid, unemployment money that was paid to people who were in prison, right? And then yet and still, there's still 200,000. There was a 200,000 person backlog, 200,000 claim backlog in California's unemployment. We've been closed longer than anybody else. We've lost more jobs. We've lost more small businesses. We have poverty. Even though we were the poorest state in the country, we have more poor people than any other place, more homeless than any other state. Those numbers have increased in the state of California. And guess what? Our COVID numbers are no better than anyone else's. But no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about the fact that even though every year we have forest fires, every year we have them, right? Wildfires. Yep. He closed 8 fire camps. But no one's talking about that. Right. No one's talking about the bullet train from Fresno to Bakersfield that he said he was going to get rid of, and now he's spending billions more on it. Nobody wants to talk about that because, well, he's a Democrat. Just no one's talking about the facts. Yeah. And so they want to talk about things like abortion and climate change. Nah, I'm done. It's just once again, alternate reality.
Yep, made up statistics. Once again, that's the basis of this whole article is the lies, and this is what's running your election there and running your campaign recall. Or your recall election. So,
and folks, I get it. A lot of you don't live in California, but let me be clear. Just because it starts in California doesn't mean it ends in California.
Oh, listen, yeah,
you better help stop it.
Around the country, you have to watch. What happens in California will next happen in Oregon, Nevada. It will flow from the west. We know what happens in New Jersey starts to move towards the south. Look what's going on in Virginia and North Carolina. Those are New Jersey gun control laws.
Right.
So it happens all the time.
You want to see an example? There's a reason why we had 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, so that the mess and the stupidity, the stuff that was going on with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and all of them didn't creep out into other parts of the Middle East, into Europe, and here to the United States. Now we're not there. So you watch what starts to happen, and you will kind of get it. Hopefully.
The advances in the Taliban military capabilities are going to be exponential.
Yes, they are. We'll be talking about that a little bit later.
Yep.
All right, moving right along. Okay, this one is kind of fun, and I honestly debated about whether or not to include a video on this one. Evidently, at colleges across the country, chants of F. Joe Biden have actually been running rampant. Like a bunch of people are basically out chanting F. Joe Biden at college football games, which, by the way, is I can get it, especially in the SEC. But I find it interesting that that's what's going on, in particular at college campuses.
Remember a few months ago, they were talking about the president's brother because all they would say is F. Biden, and that's his brother Frank, I just assumed. But now they're talking about F. Joe Biden, and I don't know if that's F. Scott Fitzgerald or what do they do? Does he have another name that's going on there? But now clearly, folks, we're having a little fun with the abbreviation here, but. This was kind of spreading amongst college football games this week. I mean, I'm not talking about South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs or anything like that. I mean, this happened at Auburn, Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, North Carolina. I mean, this was rolling amongst some big college campuses there, and it wasn't just a couple of people chanting or a couple of people with a sign. It was the full on. F. Joe Biden chant that was rolling, for several minutes. Yeah.
Well, I will end this segment on this particular story just kind of noting, maybe colleges and universities aren't lost forever. Maybe there's hope for academia, or at least the athletic scholars.
Yeah, so we can only hope, right? We'll see. I'm sure most of those students will now go to class and get in trouble for not wearing a mask and for speaking their minds,
Exactly. So let's get into today's parting shot. we talked about the improved military capabilities of the Taliban. Well, and I think this just kind of speaks to it. The Taliban Air Force as of last week and the Taliban Air Force as of this week, as they got, I believe it was something like, what did they say, like $23 billion worth of aircraft, something like that?
Yeah, and they got everything that was left behind. And again, here's the Democrat fight. Oh no, they didn't get that stuff from the United States. Oh, really? Where'd they get it from? Oh, they got it from the Afghan Air Force. Who guess where the Afghan Air Force got it from? They got it from us.
Right.
There was a significant number of Air Force aircraft and Army aircraft that were left behind as well, and our Army and our Air Force. But for the most part, the majority of the stuff they got was from the abandoned Afghan National Air Force, which came from us, by the way.
Right.
So
Exactly. But that wasn't all they got. I mean, we won't get into all of the handguns. Well, okay. We won't get into all the rifles and all of the handguns and all of the other equipment, but armored vehicles, armed armored vehicles,
yes,
mind you.
Yeah. This one, I'm not so bad that they got these Humvees. I'm all right with that, because all day long they're going to have to answer the calls about their extended Humvee warranties.
Nice. Okay, sir. Well, hey, that's going to be it for today's episode. We're going to call it's going to be a little bit of a short one. Wow, good stuff. Mikey, do me a favor. Let folks know about our sponsors real quick.
Hey, make sure you check out our good friends at Grid Defense and Guerrilla Machining. That's Grid Defense and Guerrilla Machining. They've been with us since pretty much the start here, and we'd like for you to support them as well, because they'll be supporting you again tomorrow on Freedback Friday, when you get a nice little freebie toy from one of them for your America's Rifle build. So please support them, as well as
the California Republican Assembly. Reminder, there is a recall election going on. We are trying to recall Governor Gavin Newsom, Gavin Mussolini. If you have not returned if you haven't gotten your ballot, get a hold of your voter registrar's office and find out where the heck your ballot is. And if you have gotten your ballot, get it in, fill it out. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for in question 2, because anyone is going to be a better selection than Gavin Newsom, although the California Republican Assembly did endorse Larry Elder, believing he is the best, most conservative choice. But the most important thing is vote on number 1. Vote number 1, vote yes to recall Gavin Mussolini. It is that simple. Please remember, like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about the Rundown. This is the place to talk about 2A news with conservative views.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you tomorrow on Freedback Friday.
Hasta mañana.